Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dech Teck. I am Dell, and today I'm going to talk about my Secret Santa deck exchange gift that I received. If you haven't seen it already, I did a video about the deck I built for my buddy Brad, and today I'm going to talk about the deck that I received from my buddy Roy. We did a little gift exchange party, and if you stay tuned to the end of the episode, I'll go over some of the gifts that were given out in addition to the decks. Special shout out to Stephanie, aka Steel City Steph, and her amazing husband as well, Brad, Steel City Brad. I think it was more Steph than Brad, but I love them both. So today I'm going to talk about, zoom in, boop. Somebody gifted me old Stickfingers, and I guess I should start off by saying too, we did a few prompts to give our person building for us a few ideas, and I'll be honest, I forget what my prompts were. I don't even remember if I said anything about Golgari, but he nailed it. Like, he knocked it out of the park with this deck. This is a deck I would build for myself that I would play, and ironically enough, Stickfingers is on a short list of decks that I would want to build, and what I got was more than I asked for. We did have a budget, but I feel like Roy went over a little bit, but I'm going to keep this deck for a while, if not forever. I think the only adjustments I'll make is maybe the mana base, but even then, just all basics except for 2 lands seems pretty good. If there's more graveyard junk in the future, maybe switch it out. But I like playing with some lower powered budget decks. This is this plays pretty good. We did 2 pods with this deck, and I won both. First one was a little easier than the second one. I don't want to get into details, but man, it really did well, and I'm really excited for this deck. But name of the game is putting stuff in the graveyard. If anyone knows me knows I love the graveyard. So what this does has a casting cost of black, green, and an X. When you cast, reveal the top cards of your library until you reveal that many creature cards, which is X value. Put all the cards revealed this way in the graveyard and put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. Then old Stickfingers' power and toughness are equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So his power and toughness would be equal to whatever you cast X for, right? In addition to whatever else is in there. And I really enjoy this because I can keep letting him die and then bringing him back and putting more stuff in the graveyard. And I had a lot of fun with it. This is one of those decks that's right up my alley. So I want to say thanks again, Roy. Let's get to it. First chunk is the creatures. I haven't done a tapped out for this yet, but I will. I'll upload and get the mana curve and all that, but don't know how many of each spell yet. I kind of just separate them just to talk about real quick. But let's get into it. Fiend Artisan gets pumped up for a creature card in the graveyard. Has the ability to search out. He's usually just a big beefy battle guy that I had on the field, but I do like this ability. I just wish it didn't have that last bit of text where it's saying only as a sorcery, because I'd like to be able to do that instant speed. It's a really good ability, but I've only ever played this card in Modern for that ability. It did alright, but I look forward to using that more in this deck. Dreadhound, big mana cost, but does some stuff. There's Battlefield Mill 3. When creature dies or creature cards put in the graveyard from the library, each opponent loses a life. Really cool to have on the battlefield when I'm milling myself out. Like this guy. This guy won me the second game. Holy moly. Keep forgetting how good his ability is. So creature dies or creature put in the graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or creature card leaves your graveyard, deals 1 damage to each opponent. So any movement around the graveyard, it's going to ping people. And it's a lot of fun. He also has a mill ability, which you can pump mana into to mill each player. Circle Land Druid. There's Battlefield, mill 4 cards. Then when it dies, return target land card from graveyard to your hand. Nyx Weaver. Play this a lot in my Spider deck. Your upkeep, put the top 2 cards of your library in the graveyard. And you can exile it after paying a cost. Return target card from the graveyard to your hand. One of my new favorite cards. Have not gotten to play with it yet, but this did a lot of work too. Prevent all damage to be dealt to you, and then mill twice that many cards. Kept me alive, even though it was milling me out. But it did a lot of work, and this is one of those cards. It's like really pretty art, really cool ability. I just really like this card. Been wanting to put it in their deck for a while. Phyrexian Delver. Not much more to say about that. Return a card from your graveyard, lose life equals mana value. Bring stuff back. Got Steve, secure a Tribe Elder. Sacking them, they get some basic lands. World Shaper. Attach, put the top 3 cards of your library in the graveyard. When it dies, put all land cards from your graveyard on the battlefield. Haven't been able to pull off the second half, but it does pretty good. Stitcher Supplier. I love this card. It's one of those cards when it was spoiled that I knew I was going to like and put in a lot of decks. And this does a lot of work. Enters battlefield, dies, mill top 3. Gold Tree. One of my favorites back when this was in Standard. Such a good card. You get a possible 10/10 for 1 green mana if you're lucky enough. And usually you have enough stuff in your graveyard to be able to do that. Shieldred. The Whispering one. I forget the first line of text is. You'll forgive me. But it has each opponent's upkeep. They sacrifice a creature, and in my upkeep, I can return a creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. I want to say Death Touch. I forget what the first one is. But, you know, you can look it up. I probably should have looked up before I started recording, but here we are. Lotleth Giant. This little burn spell on a creature. Enters the battlefield. 1 damage to target opponent for each creature card in the graveyard. Boneyard Microdrax. Again, power toughness equal to creature cards in your graveyard. And then a Scavenge ability. I really enjoy this card as well. Shigeki Jukai Visionary. 1 in a green, you can turn it to its owner's hand. Top cards of the library, top 4 rather. Put a land from among them and the rest in your graveyard. Pretty good ability. And then it has a channel ability where I can bring stuff back from my graveyard. Legendaries, in fact. Night Howler. Always good to see. Love this card. You can enchant something to give it plus X, which is the number of cards in my graveyard. You can hear that a lot with some of these cards. Jared won me the first game the night, or that night. +1/+1 for each creature card in my graveyard. 1, a green and a black. Sacrifice another creature, and each opponent loses life equal to that power. And then sack a swamp and a forest to return him from my graveyard to my hand. I love this card. I keep trying to make it work in other decks. Mix it into a lot of them, but I want to make a commander deck one day. Maybe an elf deck. Elf ball or something. A lot of fun. Eternal Witness. Returns up from the graveyard to my hand. I'll just say there. Splinterfright. Again, another one equal to the number of creature cards in my graveyard. And they also mills. Brawn. Little elephant boy. As long as he's in my graveyard and I control forest. Creature control has trample. Wouldn't believe how often when I was playing that I really wanted to see him, but never really quite got him. One of my favorite arts for Land War Elves. Little mana dork. Lord of Extinction. This big boy. Always surprised that he doesn't have flying, but then I see his little spindly legs, and I figure he's just scuttering around places, maybe like a giant centipede. You don't see enough of him to really know what his body's shaped like, but again, power total equal to all graveyards, which is really good. Usually it's my graveyard doing the bulk of the lifting with him, but I still like it. Zoni comes in the battlefield. Create that many bugs for how many creature cards in your graveyard. You can sack 1 to gain life and draw a card. Kept bouncing this one. Made a shit ton of bugs to make a wall of bugs I can block with. That was really cool. Birds of Paradise. My favorite arts for it. Little mana dork. Polychronos Unchained. Again, comes in with 6+1s. Escapes with 12. Any damage to be dealt to it. Well, has a +1 per the damage, remove that many +1s from it. Has a fighting ability. And then you can escape with it. Pretty good card. I end up doing some fun stuff with this that night too. Kaga, Shadow Archdruid. When it attacks against Death Touch, then mill 2. Turn each of your cards may cast a land or permanent spell from among cards in your graveyard there for this turn. Elves of Deep Shadow, little mana dork. Add black to mana pool, it does 1 damage to you. It's pretty good to have this out with the Angel too, so like taking damage, milling myself some more. Undead Butler, another really cool art on a really cool card that doesn't really, at least I don't see it too often. Enters battlefield mill. When it dies, you exile it, return to a creature card from the graveyard to your hand. And one of my favorite boys, Golgari Grave Troll. Comes in with as many +1s as there are creatures in your graveyard. Remove 1 to regenerate it, and then dredge 6. Cast of Cage Breakers. When it attacks, make that many tapped and attacking wolf tokens for as many creature cards in your graveyard. Elvish Mystic. Again, another one of those little mana dorks. Mortivore. Power and toughness equal to graveyard. 1 black gets to regenerate it. Molar Hulk. This one kept getting swiped from my graveyard. There's battlefield. Return target land from your graveyard to battlefield. But I think they just want to keep me from having it. But and they also had an ability where converted mana cost was blasting somebody in the face, I believe. Skull Prophet. Another one of those cards I just love. Mana dork for black or green, and you can also mill yourself. Underrealm Lich. Draw a card and say look at the top 3. 1 in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. Then pay for a life, gain indestructible end of turn. Death Bloom Ritualist. This is one I didn't really look too close at when it was spoiled, but holy moly. For 5 mana, it's a mana dork that, oh boy, casted a bunch of stuff with this guy. Add X of a 1 color where X is the number of creature card in your graveyard. Ridiculous. And last but not least, Satyr Wayfinder. Enters battlefield. Reveal the top 4, put a land from among them in your hand, the rest in the graveyard. So on to the enchantments. Got an R here, Animate Dead. Not much to say about that. We could turn a creature card from any graveyard into play with -1, -0. And bury the creature. And when this is removed, bury that creature. It's good to bring back one of the beefy boys, sacrifice it, and bring it back again if I can. Cemetery Tampering. Hideaway 5. So you look at the top 5 cards of your library, put one of them underneath it, and then the rest on the bottom of the order, I believe. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 3, and then for 20 more cards in your graveyard, you may play the exile card without paying its mana cost. Have not played this yet, but it seems pretty good. Greater Good. Another really cool card. Sacrifice creature, draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power, and discard 3. Good to draw some cards, good to mill some cards. Always fun. Got your artifacts. Got 2 mana rocks, Arcane Signet, Soul Ring. Then we got 2 heavy hitters here. Ashdod's Altar, sack creature, get 2 mana, colorless mana. And Alter Dementia, sacrifice creature, target player puts a number of creature cards equal to sacrifice creature's power into the little graveyard. So you mill that many. Kept hitting myself with that just to do a little more work. It was a lot of fun to do. Reminds me back when Hogak was still legal. I might put Hogak in here. That'd be pretty fun. Got the sorceries stitched together, bring stuff back from the graveyard to your hand. And then if I have Threshold, it goes to play. Good old mulch. Milling yourself, get some lands. Bird Alive, putting 3 creature cards in my graveyard. Spider spawning, making a bunch of spider tokens equal to how many creatures you got. Breach the Multiverse, kept seeing it but never got to play it. Each player mills 10, then you can choose for each player a creature, planeswalker in that player's graveyard, put it on the battlefield, return a creature, becomes a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. Seems pretty good. Nature's Lore, mana ramp, of course. Rise of the Witch King, everyone sack creature, and if you sacrifice creature this way, you can return another permanent card from graveyard to the battlefield. So you get a little swap in action. This is a great board wipe with tokens. I'm just going to say that again because this is a fun card I haven't played in a while. Everyone exiles all creatures from their graveyard, sacrifice all creatures they control, then put the exile creature on the battlefield. So it just kind of flips the graveyard to the battlefield. But for tokens, they just go away. We had somebody with a ridiculous amount of Necrons. I think it was Roy. And I drew that and I had the, oh boy, this is like the best draw I've had in a while. Skytrail Claim, Mana Ramp, Jared Orders, search your library for 2 cards, reveal one in your hand, one in the graveyard. Twilight's Call, haven't been able to play this yet in this deck, but bring everything back from a graveyard to battlefield. Seems pretty good. Victimize, I actually got the cast once that night, and it did a lot of work. Sacrifice one of my main dorks, bring back 2 of my big beefy boys. Calling Ritual is a card I've been looking at. I like it. Not too many decks that fit in. This deck's pretty good. Haven't been able to cast it yet, but it's one of those cards I like it, but doesn't fit most of my decks. But that's definitely going to stay in this one. Rite of Consumption, sacrifice creature, deal damage to the target opponent, and then I gain life equal to that, their power toughness. Golgari's Harvest, I get zombies equal. Create X zombies, whereas X is not half the number of creature cards in my graveyard, so I get a decent amount. I hate seeing half there, though. And then, one of my favorites from Legacy, Dread Return. Return a creature to the battlefield, and a flashback sacrificing 3 creatures. Going to the instance, we got Grizzly Salvage. Again, mill myself a little bit to get some lands. We got a killer mana ramp card, especially if I have a bunch of stuff in my graveyard. This does work. Mausoleum Secrets. Search level for black card mana cost less than or equal to the number of creature cards in graveyard. Reveal it. Put it in my hand and then shuffle. It's pretty useful. And then another one of my newer favorites. I put this in a few decks. It's really cool to see this in here. Choose one. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures to control. Excuse me. Don't let that make you think that is my excitement for this card. This is a really good card. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control, and non-humans control get +3/+3 down the turn. I don't think you're picking that second one too often, but that first one's where it's at. And of course, mana base. We have 2 non-basics. Zvoggoth, the Restless Tomb, makes a big old guy, and the Command Tower, of course. Don't need much explaining, but all the basics. I think the only thing that I would even bother to improve is probably the mana base, the lands. But I didn't have that much trouble getting the colors in, being 2 color. You can pretty much get away with basics, you know? I don't know if I'm going to do much improvement on this. This is a really sweet deck. I had a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to keep this, like I said, for a long while. Really happy with how it turned out. But on to the end of the video. Shout out to Brad and Steph. I guess I should see if I can get a nice shot of this. They gifted me a playmat. It is Deathrite Salmon. Incredible art by Andrea Raddick. I can't wait to get that signed. It's just perfect for me. I love Deathrite Shaman, but it's just so silly and cute. There's little bones and little sushis. I love it. I also had in the gift bag a nice life counter. Not sure what the art is. Looks like a big serpent or something. If it's from in a card specifically. It's from Game Genic, so I'm not sure what it's meant to represent. Really cool dice set, holiday themed. Oops. Each number has antlers. Focus, damn it. And then, of course, the highest number is a little reindeer. Super cute. Then I got a really nice magic coin, 5684. If you see that out in the wild, somebody stole it because I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of this. It's so nice, so cool. Not too good at flipping coins without them flying across the room, so I might just keep that in my little coin collection I have. But really like that. Some sleeves. Little holiday dragon. Not sure what I'm going to put these on yet, but look forward to sleeving something up with that. Probably my next budget deck. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I got a water bottle too. The classic logo, like it's on the back of most Magic cards. That blue font, I love that blue and red. Was that brown? It is in the wash, so it's not readily available to show up on camera. But so I say thanks again, Steph and Brad. I love you guys. Thanks again for inviting me. Roy, if you're there, I love you too, buddy. This deck is amazing. Knocked it out of the park, dude. I'm really excited for this. And I had a really good time, too. We're up late. Got to see my friend River. Made some new friends. So River, Tim, Roy, of course. And Josh and Hannah. Made new friends there. But I'm kind of rambling now. It's like the day after I didn't get up till late, and I'm still pretty tired, but get some chores done before the week starts. I'm not sure when this will be uploaded, but if you guys see this, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. And until next time, love you.